Cards didn't really get the point you deserve from that match, but must be pleased with it. A bit more of a fighting spirit showed, especially in that second half.
Yeah, obviously, it's you're disappointed, as you say, not to get a point. But the performance from the Christmas fixtures, if you like, to today was chalk and cheese. I thought we were good value for a point, to be honest, against a tough side. We know full time, they want promotion, they're going for it, and I think the way they used the subs in stoppage time, because they used all the subs, was telling in how they had to see the game out, and he done everything right to see the game out. But I felt that I couldn't fault anyone today. I think the lads have put an unbelievable shift in, but not just that. I think there's been some good stuff played as well on a difficult surface, because I know we couldn't get on it yesterday because it was frozen. It was soaking wet the day before, so I know that the ground staff have done all they can to get the pitch, but I thought we did play some good stuff in both halves, and like you say, on another day you get a point out of it. But the first goal is probably indicative of where both sides are at the minute. Another day it just gets cleared, but we didn't stop. Second goal, I have to say, is an unbelievable finish from the lads. He struck it so sweet, and whilst you can probably pick faults en route to the goal, you couldn't pick a fault in the finish. Pick faults from us defensively, but then the lads carried on. They didn't stop. We scored a great goal. Josh scores a great goal, great ball from Murph, and then it's game on, and we're pushing, and they're always going to have little counters, which I think we limited them to one really, but you watch it back, you'll see it on the highlights. A penalty all day. When Josh misses the header, the lad is all over Peter Clark. It's a penalty all day, but that's what you don't get when you're where we are.
Does it make it a bit more frustrating that you play like that against one of the better teams, especially after maybe games against perceived weaker opponents in recent weeks?
Well, that's why you're as frustrated as you get, because there isn't a bad group of players in there, so we've got to somehow try and find that switch to perform like we have today against sides in and around us, because they're the games. You've got to try and win all games. You've got to try and take points off all games. I hear people saying, some of the shouts, you scratch your head, they've got to throw in, and one of the fans shouts, "We need to push up, Warrington," and you're like, well, think about the game, think about where it's at, but I think the way the fans were coming off at the end, applauding the lads, seeing them put a shift in like we have, seeing them have played well like we have done, but still be on the wrong side of the result is telling. But it must infuriate them as well, the performance that we've put in, like you say, Southport and Marine, and then perform like that, albeit you've come off on the same, with the same points. That's where we need to try and flip that mindset and apply ourselves. And maybe it's personnel. We've started the game now. I think there's 5 players. Probably haven't got 90 or 100 Conference North games between them. And sometimes you stumble upon a lineup that works when on paper would you necessarily pick those players, and that's what I said last game. The game's not played on paper, is it? It's played on grass, and certainly today there's been some really good performances by some lads who've just come straight in.
Yeah, you sort of touched upon it there. I think when Josh scored the goal, there was a noise in the ground that maybe we've not heard perhaps this season. You could sort of sense that the goal had lifted the fans a little bit, and they did get behind you in that push to get back. Just couldn't quite get there in the end.
No, and that's, as I said before, sorry mate, there's always going to be that element. It's been a long time since this club, I've said it before, since this club's had tough runs like we have this season. Certainly since I've come in, it's not been something that I want to be associated with, but obviously I am, and my name's on it. My name's above the door, if you like. But the fans to react the way they did, and to push the lads on and to clap them off at the end is a sign that we need to we need to produce those performances to keep that positivity, even not getting a result, not getting a point. You know, you've given them something to sort of back you for and to be with you again, and that's something that we need to show a lot more of, because we need to get points.
You changed your formation today. You hinted that you might do that. Thought Bowen Dixon at the base of the midfield was excellent. Did you feel like that contributed to the overall performance, the change in shape?
Yeah, it did. You know, we had two up. I thought Connor and Josh caused them problems. I thought the three advanced midfielders ahead of Bowen were full of energy, full of running, full of endeavour, and at times showed quality as well. I thought Dan had done really well. I thought Matty and Mikey done well. As I say, did we have anyone play poorly? I thought Jack Hunt was right on it from where to go. You know, and he's self-admittedly had a bit of a wobble the last couple. But young Murph come in and was outstanding, set the goal up. So I don't think we've had a poor performance. It was disappointing, obviously, seeing Hamish limp off, and then Dana. You know, because that adds to injuries that we don't need at the minute. We don't need them anytime, but certainly not with what we've got out. Is there an early prognosis or with either of them two in terms of how bad it is or what it is? Well, Hamish, the keeper's sort of one of them horrible ones where the keeper comes to claim it and his knee's up and it's gone right into his hip. So hopefully it's just an impact and nothing else, but he was struggling to open his groin up. But then Ollie came on, to be fair to Ollie. You know, question marks about him, and you know, but I thought he done well when he came on as well. So there's been some good performances, whether it be starters or off the bench, and like I say, you're just wanting that little bit of luck to go your way to get what you feel you deserve. Certainly today, because in the previous two we've probably got what we deserved.
You mentioned it there with the penalty that you didn't get. Do you think that was one of the few that you were on the wrong end of today? I think we sort of thought the booking that Murphy Bennett got was pretty, well, for want of a better word, outrageous, really.
Well, the lad, Big Josh at the back for them, Josh Coulson, he's been booked for a handball and it's not hit his hand. I mean, obviously, as the team who've gained from it, you know, you're happy for it, but it's poor. It's poor. The worst part about it was the linesman on this side and the fourth official could both see it wasn't an handball, yet the ref chose to ignore them. So on Murph, that to me, he knew, but it was a levelling up.
Yeah.
So that's where you go, well, just play the game as it is, don't make it up to level it up.
Yeah.
But that's what you get. That, as you said, it was an outrageous. It was probably the best tackle of the game.
If he doesn't make it, they probably score, don't they?
Yeah, it was, yeah. And but it's a great tackle, and we end up, he wins the tackle, and we're breaking on the ball, and then he gives a free kick. But the worst of it was their physio's on the pitch, halfway on the pitch, and so the lad has to go off by the rules. But because he never cheated him, he didn't go off. And by the way, the lad ended up taking a free kick. Yeah. So you know, there was a few bits that he could have got hold of. Their keeper maybe second half, you know, delaying. But you know, you've got to give them a bit of credit. They've managed the game, and like you say, they've used all the subs, and 3 of them I think were in stoppage time. So that to me tells me a lot about what they needed to do to keep the win, and also what we've done in the game to put it right on them.
Yeah. You've got a couple of loan deals who are just about to run out, I think, Hamish Douglas and Josh Miles. Are you looking to try and get those extended and then maybe bring some more in on top of them?
I think it's the 11th.
Yeah.
I think it's the 11th. So we've got to speak to both clubs and see what they want to do. You know, ultimately they're not our players, so we'll be speaking to them over the next couple of days and seeing where they see their situations for both players, and then making a call from there. We're going to be trying to bring 1 or 2 in next week. We've put international clearance in on a couple of players, so hopefully we can add to the squad. And there might be another loan from another club beginning next week. So hopefully we can add to it, because we need it. As I say, Jay's done his groin, Ev's felt his hamstring. He's been sort of playing with it, nursing it a little bit. And then you've got Hamish and Dana go off today, so hopefully they're not too bad, but both young lads hopefully they'll heal quick.
Yeah. You're on the road now for a few weeks. I think it's 4 straight away games in the league anyway. The tough runs with the travel and all that, but I guess you've got to approach it with optimism based on today.
Yeah, obviously we've got 2 training sessions and then we've got an earlier kick-off than normal at Hereford. But I'd sooner go there for an early kick-off on a Saturday than a late kick-off on a Tuesday, obviously. But yeah, listen, we've got to approach every game in the same mindset. You've just alluded to the disappointment of the Marine game, the Southport game. We seem to show up against the sides, or the so-called sides who are the better ones, and the ones who are bigger clubs, and the ones who are looking to get out of the division. We seem to show up against those teams. Like you say, we've got to flip it on its head, and the mindset, it's got to be tunnel vision on any team we're playing. We've got to have a single-mindedness that we need points. We know that. There's obviously a win today for Rushall, which tightens it right up. We've played more games than everyone, so yeah, it's on. It's definitely on. It's on for everyone down there, but you only need one win to get you bouncing, and it can soon change. You can soon change it around. You can look at Wolves, for example. Look what they've done.
Yeah.
So, as I say, we've got to be optimistic. We've also got to make sure that we make sure we've got to focus what our jobs are. And I've said it before about what we're good at, what we are as a team. Because you've seen it today, when we do that, we apply ourselves. There's quality there as well. It's not just a team that what did Joe Doyle call them? The dogs of war.
Yeah.
They're not just dogs in there. There's good players. So we've just got to find that balance of getting it out.